Okay, so now, hi Trevor, hi again.
Long
Like,
time no talk.
yeah, I know, right? How are you?
Good. I'm okay. Life's been, I mean, I don't know, just busy, I guess. I started my first like full-time job. I work in New York as like a media planner.
Oh my God, congrats, New York. Wow.
After going to New York and because I don't live there, right? I commute there from Pennsylvania, so it's about a 2-hour commute.
Every
Um,
day?
so I go 2 days a week. But
Oh,
it's
I
still
see.
it's still a lot because
Yeah.
sometimes, like for example, this week I work till 8:30 at night, and then
Oh
I take the 9 o'clock bus home. So I get home at like 11:30, and then I have to go to bed and get up at 5:30 to come back.
my
So
God, that's
yeah,
rough. That's
it
rough.
it is rough, but it's okay. But after like commuting there for so long, I see like a lot of charm in like New York. So I figured I'm like, oh, I could stay there a year or so and then maybe look at China because I was still looking at flights. They're still really expensive and they're
Yeah.
like 30-hour journeys. And if you take a flight, so some of them aren't that expensive. They're like $1,000, 1,000 US dollars one way.
Wow,
But
that's pretty
but it's like
expensive.
a 30-hour journey. So you're gonna have to take a layover in wherever for like 12 hours or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. It's rough. So and also I like started seeing a girl here, so
right.
that's another thing that's like
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, exactly. Like a person keeps you here, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Because I still want to go, but at the same time I like don't want to like leave her.
Yeah, and
So
then go long distance. Yeah, it's hard.
exactly. So it's like a lot of different things going on. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
my life's kind of crazy, but
So you're living in Pennsylvania right now, and then
mm,
like, are you gonna relocate to New York anytime soon, or?
I've been looking at apartments like online for like 6 months or so. I finally started like going and looking at the places.
Mhm.
Um, I think I found a couple places I liked. So I just have to find a roommate. That's like the hardest thing because I don't know anybody who's moving there. So I literally have to use like Facebook
Mm,
and find random people and vet them and see if they're going to be good. So
and
we'll
make
we'll
sure
see
they're not serial killers. Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, no. So we'll see if there's one guy who I'm talking to. He seems nice. He's a graduate student.
Mm,
I'm looking at like not a great area in New York though. But the thing is,
oh my God.
the value you get for your apartment
Mhm.
is really, really good. I don't know, the apartment's nice. I've walked around the area like a couple times. It does seem like a little run down, but
Uh,
it doesn't seem that bad.
it
So
feels like you're trying to justify, like, you're like trying to
yeah,
convince yourself that it's worth
yeah,
it, but like danger versus, I mean, like safety versus nice apartment. I don't know.
yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am justifying it to myself, but I just think the whole city's dangerous. I don't think that
Right.
one
Yeah, I
area.
agree.
I think New York's not an especially safe place. So, but I think it's not. This apartment has like it's really really nice, and it has all like these amenities. So it has like a shuttle that takes you to the subway, so you don't
Oh,
actually have to walk there.
oh,
So that's
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
And it's they have all kinds of stuff. The building has like a cafe like right next to the
Wow.
building. It has like a salon in the building. It has all kinds of stuff. It is like absolutely, it's
Like
really
everything
cool.
you want is there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess that so you don't have to leave because if you leave, maybe it's dangerous. I don't know. So it's expensive. Like it's not cheap, but it'll be like 1,500 US dollars a month per
Oh,
person.
oh,
So for the
per
two better,
person. Wow.
yeah, it's a lot. But if you compare it to other areas, like
Right.
in New York, and if you want an apartment with all that stuff, it's going to cost like $5,000 a month or something. Like it's crazy amounts. Like if you look at the rental, like it's crazy. So yeah, so I'm trying to evaluate a bunch of stuff, but my
Wow.
life's kind of crazy, Michelle. It's
Big adult decisions. Good for you,
I
Trevor.
know it's weird. So it's actually really interesting with cultural differences with China. My friend had a roommate who's from Beijing, and his parents like bought him a house. So after he graduated, he like I think he moved in the house, and then the family like moves in with him. The whole family like lives in one like apartment. I know that happens a lot.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, so like
so
multiple generations then.
both, yeah, exactly. So the grandparents, the parents, the kid, like all
Right,
live in the same house.
right.
Like getting the independence and the that isn't something I feel like that is pushed a lot in Chinese society.
Yeah.
Like they'll just see it as like a waste of money that
Yeah.
you're renting a house somewhere, you
Yeah,
know.
I
But
know. My parents see it that way too, which is why I'm still at home. They're like, yeah, you don't really need to go out and like,
yeah,
look for a
it's
place because everything's right here, right?
exactly. Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's really good. Although I think there is something to be said about living on your own and getting that experience. I think it's good. So, I lived at home for a bit, saved money. I can go and get some new experiences. But my
Yeah.
mom, it's very different from your parents. I mean, my mom like wants me out. She said she wants us to spread our wings and get some independence. So I
Oh,
totally agree with her. I think I see like the positives of both.
mhm.
So I think it's good to stay at home for a while, and then I think it's good to get some experience on your own and go to new places, even if it's not the most cost effective like
Yeah, I agree.
method.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like it's just like you gain more experiences when you move out, but also like if you stay, you save up money. But at the same time, it's like you win some and you lose some, right? Like you
Yeah,
really have to find out what's more important to you.
yeah, exactly. It's weird on the weekends. I don't know. It's not that I don't have friends in the area, but like it's
Right.
once you start working, it's like I don't know. Only
I know,
only
right?
have a couple. I don't know. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but like when you graduated like high school
Mm,
and college, like you have friends at school, but once they kind of go away, you only have a few that you stay
yeah.
close to.
Yeah, I agree. Like some of my friends that get married, they have kids. Like some of my friends right now from university have babies. And like
Yeah.
I just can't relate to their life anymore, right?
Yeah,
Like I'm
I
like
can't.
talking about like going to do fun stuff and they're like, "Oh, like actually I have to stay at home and take care of my kid." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Yeah, there
can't
are a lot of
relate.
kids from high school who, yeah,
Yeah,
they're married and they have kids, and that's crazy. I can't even imagine that.
right?
I don't think I'm gonna be ready for kids until I'm like 30, I think.
I know, right? Same here, same here.
And
I'm a kid myself right now, so I can't handle that?
yeah, and no, it's funny. I say I'm like a big kid. That's like just my personality. What are your plans for today? What are you doing?
Actually, since it's 10 o'clock after this, I would be helping with like the preparation for Chinese New Year because it's actually tomorrow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be doing some of that, doing some cooking, like talking to my parents. It's just
That's
like
awesome.
little family things that kind of just
Yeah.
fit the festive spirit. But
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for Chinese New Year. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think maybe I might get some Chinese food or something.
yes,
I don't
right.
know. Like,
Support local Chinese restaurants.
yeah, exactly. So I was thinking something like that. I don't
Mhm.
know. We made dumplings a couple of weeks ago, so that
Oh,
was nice. So we bought the dumpling
that
wrapper, yeah, jiaozi. Yep.
okay.
But
Oh,
everything else we made ourselves. So we bought the beef or the pork and
uh-huh.
then the bai cai, and then
Oh,
um we made this recipe I found on Douyin,
oh
and then we
wow.
so we like mixed it together. We did all this stuff, and then we
Oh,
wrapped the dumplings and we steamed them. They
was
were
it
really
good?
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were really
Oh
good.
my
So
gosh. Awesome.
I don't know if I could put my family through that again today or tomorrow, but because it was a process, it was a couple hours, but we
Yeah.
had a lot of fun.
Are there any like Chinese New Year celebrations in your area?
Bethlehem is really small, so there's about 70,000 people here. So I don't think there's going to be really anything, but I try to ask my friends, like if they're at Lehigh, if they're doing anything for Chinese New Year. Most of
Mm,
them just say they're going to eat dinner together, and that's it.
yeah.
So
It's usually like the
um,
Guan Yuan Fun, which is what it's called. Like where everyone
mhm,
gets together and then they have dinner. So yeah.
yeah. Where are your parents from in China?
So my dad is from Hong Kong and my mom
Okay.
is from Guangdong, which are like
Yep.
right next to each other.
Yep.
So then like they share a lot of the same foods, except for the fact that my mom loves spicy. So
Okay.
like she loves spicy foods. So my dad can't really handle that though. Like I'm somewhere in the middle. What about you?
Yeah. So it's funny, before I went to China, I don't think I was a huge spicy person. I think American food is inherently not spicy.
Yeah.
It's normally like salty or sweet.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, after, and I remember I have a specific memory in my head of eating hot pot in Beijing, and like it was, and I couldn't have the non-spicy because it had two pots.
Mm-hmm.
Because but the girl we were with was vegan, so we couldn't put
Oh.
any meat in her broth. So
Mm.
we had to use the spicy one, and I was just like dying. I was like,
Oh my
my
god.
skin was all red. I think I was crying. Oh my
Oh my
gosh. But
gosh.
I think after that, like I got more used to eating spicy foods. I've
Makes-
never been to southern China. I want to travel there someday.
Oh,
Um,
which cities?
um, that's a good question. I mean, I want to go to like Chongqing and Chengdu.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I heard they're really cool. I
Yeah.
mean, Chengdu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so the
Oh,
food
I
is
didn't know that.
yeah, the food is supposed to be really famous there. I was thinking there's a 1920s cruise that goes out of it's like a river cruise, but
Mhm.
that's out of I think Wuhan.
Oh, okay.
I watched the video. It seems incredible.
So
Yeah,
how many places in China have you been to then?
I studied in Shanghai in 2018. So we went to um, the first place we went to is called Xitang. That's like a river town. It was cool. It was almost like an old town. It was like a tourist area.
Uh,
Then I went to Hangzhou and uh, Nanjing and Suzhou.
wow,
Um,
you've been to a lot of places.
I mean, they were just like day trips, so it's not like I
Oh,
got
okay.
a ton. I liked Hangzhou probably the most out of the three. The West Lake is incredible. I mean, that's like a huge, super cool place. And then in Beijing, I didn't travel as much. I went to Tianjin and then we went to Inner Mongolia. That was pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
We did like a travel group trip. A lot of positives, a lot of negatives from that trip. So the negatives were we traveled on a bus with
Hmm.
all these people. So we were on a bus for like 8 hours. Like
Oh my God.
we had to get up at 2 in the morning. We had to meet the bus at 3 in the morning, and we slept on this bus for 8 hours to get to Inner Mongolia, the grasslands, and
Wow.
it was not comfortable. Yeah, so we were in like a yurt, the Mungu Bao, that's what it's
Oh, okay.
called. So
Wow,
it
that's
was
so
really cool.
cool.
Yeah, it was different. I think it was a very like it sucks because you lacked the freedom. You couldn't explore on your own, but we definitely
Yeah,
got to see
it's
some
for a
cool
guy.
stuff. And
Right.
then we got to go to the desert in Inner Mongolia. That was really cool. We did all
Wow.
the like we rode on like a camel. We did all kinds of stuff. I did a zip line and
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but they I guess they thought I was too heavy and
Mhm.
they like didn't stop me. Like they're supposed to stop you at the end
Uh-huh.
and they just didn't. And then I hit like this it had like padding, but I hit this wall. And then I got off and they were just sitting there laughing. I was like, okay, like that's not cool. Like
Oh my
that's
gosh, did it
yeah,
hurt?
yeah. I know it didn't hurt. It didn't really hurt.
Oh,
Maybe a little bit, but it just I just
you're
thought it was disrespectful. Like they were supposed to stop me, and they just like they're like I think they tried, and I just blew
oh,
through
you
them, and
went
they
too
just
fast or
I went
something?
too
Like you
fast. Yeah,
didn't. Oh,
but I couldn't control my speed, so it's
right.
not like
I
something I
got
can control.
it. Right.
And then my program went to Xi'an for a week. I really liked Xi'an. Like I thought that was a really cool city. The pace of life was a little bit slower than Beijing. Like
Yeah.
it was really peaceful. There's a lot to do. The scenery was cool. The
Oh,
food was amazing. I have you had like Biang Mian?
yeah, I have. I have. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites, like
Oh,
Chinese food. Yeah, it's like absolutely I still haven't had it. In New York they have a place called Xi'an Famous Foods,
oh,
Xi'an Mingchi, and
oh.
They have Biang Mian. I gotta go one day for sure.
Yeah, make
And
that on
just
your New York bucket list.
exactly. If I move to New York though, you could come visit.
Oh my
So
God,
that
yeah,
could
I
be
would love
fun.
that.